What you are about to watch may be offensive to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good afternoon, friends, or good morning. I'm not sure what time of day you're watching this, but these are being released daily at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, this week here may be a little slower for letting out videos, but that's fine. That'll give us a chance to catch up on some of the questions on Twitter. So today's video kind of has a theme to it. It was about fighting, and I wanted to share my experience with you guys on my first fight that I got into. I was about 16 or 15. No, it would have been 16 because we were able to drive. And the first fight that I got into was with a guy named Jed. J-E-D. It sounds like a name you'd want to get into a fight with, right? So, holy shit, did you see that? As soon as I threw that fucking IED, buddy shot it out of the air and killed me. Anyway. So I showed up at this gas station that was close to our house, and it was the same gas station, turns out, in my previous videos where we actually ended up stealing from a few years previous to that. But anyway, it was the local corner store. And I come out of the corner store, and here's this Jed guy standing, looking ready to go. He was ready to go. And I was there with my girlfriend at the time and a couple other buddies, and everybody knew this kid. Everybody was expecting us to get into this huge fight because it'd been something that had been building over, a few months. It wasn't something that just happened overnight. This was a few months where he was coming to my work. He was bugging me at work. He was bugging me at school. He was bugging me everywhere he had the opportunity. So, I felt it due time to just handle this situation. So we get into it. We're swinging Hail Marys, overhand bombs like, Chuck Liddell style, over the top. We're just, we've got each other kind of by the collar, and we're just swinging our arms around like a bunch of goofs. And I ended up clipping him in the face. I think I busted out one of his teeth. Tooth? Is it tooth or teeth when it's singular? One of his teeth. Fucking, I need to go back to school, speaking of it. And so I knocked out one of his teeth, and he ended up clipping me with his fake Rolex watch in the forehead, and it actually ended up stamping on my forehead. I got back into the car after this whole shit went down, and basically all it was a loser fight for both of us. We were just looking like a couple of nannies swinging our arms around, and nobody really ended up getting hurt. Some old lady came out of the gas station and started yelling at us, break it up, kind of thing. So we ended up separating, and that was the last time I ended up seeing the guy. So it was, in one sense, it was a good fight, that nobody got severely hurt, and in the other sense, it basically just, we kind of were able to figure each other out, and we just realized that after that, that was it. So anyway, that was my first fight. Let's get into the Q&A part of it. First one comes from YG Taz. Tell me some of your predictions for the next COD, competitively and in public match. Well, there's no predicting it. As far as what is it going to look like, well, it's going to be quite similar to, what we're seeing currently right now. Until the older generation systems, I was actually speaking online with somebody about this today, until the older generations are completely out of the mix, we're unfortunately going to have these even keel games where they've got to be able to work on all consoles, all systems, and that sort of thing. So I can't predict too much of a change as far as, what's going to happen with the next Call of Duty. I will speculate that it will have a lot of the similarities that we have to date. So great question. Next one comes from Alexi Clergy. How was high school? High school for me was pretty good. I was always sort of the bigger guy in high school. I never had a problem with that. I have a funny last name, and that was part of my demise in high school. My last name is Smart. So a lot of kids felt the need to, make fun of that name, which who wouldn't? I mean, it's a funny fucking name. When you're 12, 13, 14, 15, everybody goofs on shit, right? And to this date, it doesn't affect me any different. It's not like any of that has stuck with me in my life where I felt that, everybody picking on that name in that sense was a big deal. But, I did have some hard times in high school being just with that name. So, as far as how was it? Well, I got through it. I didn't finish high school. I got to about grade 10. And made some bad choices as a young individual where I got a real expensive vehicle that I had to work for to pay for, and that decided my fate as far as graduating. So, I'm well into my 30s now, so I would like to go back and potentially finish it, but at this point I've got a career, I have a business, the fact that I would have to go back, and finish is not really likely for me. So, It was good. I had some hard times, but it was good. Thanks for the question, Alexi. Next one comes from Gunny Goon. If you could punch anyone as hard as you can, dead or alive, who would it be, and where would you punch them? I don't want to punch anybody. I'm done with that. You grow out of that very quickly as a young person, and I know coming out of high school that just, getting into the workforce, it's not something that I put any focus or efforts on in my life anymore. I've had some play fights with buddies that turned out really bad. I ended up getting grabbed by one of my really good friends, and I was stepping backwards, and I tripped over one of those cement sort of bump guard things for your car so it doesn't hit the building. I tripped over one of those and fell backwards into a brick wall, smashed the back of my head, got knocked out for about 15 seconds, seen white for that entire 15 seconds. I was laying on the ground in not very good shape, and sort of from that moment on, I decided that fighting is just not for me. It was not something I want to do. So as far as punching somebody right now, not likely. But thanks anyway, Gunny. Next one comes from Colton Crocker. Hey, my question is, has anyone annoyed you so much you've knocked them out? No. The only person I could say that I would probably want to knock out in my life would have been that Jed fellow. He caused me all kinds of grief as a young individual. So, unfortunately, our one attempt at our fight didn't work out. So, moving forward on it, it's not something I want to do. So, thanks again for the question, Colton. Next one comes from AR Real Blur. Are you a virgin? If not, when was the last time you got laid? I am married, so I'm certainly not a virgin. If you're married and a virgin, you've got problems. But as far as getting the last time I got laid, I believe was within the last week. And that might be getting a little too personal, but I say fuck it, and that's what I did. Thanks for the question. Next one comes from COD Dead Vengeance. What does your setup consist of? My setup consists of a Xbox One for my console gaming. I have an HD PVR2 for my recording, and I have a pretty stompin' PC. I've got an i7 960 with 16 gig of RAM. I've got a GTX 580 graphics card, the 1.5 gig graphics card, which I know they make 3 gig ones now, but the 1.5 does me just fine. And a 250 or 120 SSD drive for my operating system, so a solid state drive, and then I got a 2 terabyte internal for all my recording. So everything, all my data gets dumped onto that internal drive. So, great question. There you go. Hopefully you can match it or beat it. Let me know. Next one comes from Blur Rehab. Do you ever get random boners? I get them daily. In the morning, especially. I get that famous thing called morning wood. And I had one this morning, and I even had the wife go, hey, check it out. And she did, and she was happy about it. So, oh my god, where am I going with this? Good lord. Random boners, yeah, boys, you know, guys, young men, we get them. It happens. Hopefully not in public, or you're going to be labeled a freak, and, you know, maybe the accidental boner at work has happened to some people as well, so... Oh, I love it. I love it, guys. You're hilarious. Next one comes from Pandy Tarantula. Whoa, what's your favorite food? Favorite food currently is, I would say Indian food. Like East Indian food. The East Indian culture has more spices than any other culture I can think of. So we eat it on a weekly basis. The wife sometimes will make it fresh, which is nothing like the having them make it. But, oh my god, I'm still laughing about the boner joke. Oh my god. So yeah, East Indian food is my favorite. Next one comes from the official One King. What's your favorite Popeyes flavor? I don't even know what the fuck that is. Please, somebody describe it to me. Next one comes from FLA Beach Bum M. Why is the quality of marijuana better in Canada than America? I think you're Canadian because you say oops and about. No O. Why is it better? Because we have some of the best growing areas for it, I believe. Anyway, I believe there was at one point we were second in the world for grow ops. So next to Amsterdam. I'm not sure where we're standing anymore. I don't have anything to do with smoking weed. It's just not. It's not part of my career choice. So I can't do it as part of my career. So there you go, guys. Another Q&A done. And I thank you for all your questions. And make sure you can keep sending them in. Don't think that because you sent one, I won't answer it again. We've had lots of repeat customers and loving it. So keep it going, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.